All right, so this is one of the most unique PC gaming products I've seen this year. This Glass Box is Razer's upcoming gaming PC. They're calling it the Razer Tomahawk, and this particular unit is an early prototype that they showed at CES earlier this year. There's no planned announcement for it anytime soon, but I wanted to show you guys what this thing was all about. Now, to explain what this is and why this is even in the studio, I have to talk about this. This is Intel's NUC 9. This is a small form factor computer made by Intel. It's very capable. It's running a desktop grade RTX 2070 inside this very small compact case. This is a 5-liter case, I believe. It's very small. They had to do a few things to be able to fit everything in here. So it's running a laptop CPU. It's still an 8-core overclockable CPU, but it's not a desktop CPU. And the video card in here, even though it is a desktop video card, is a shorty. This holds one of these 187 millimeter video cards. They're available, right? Companies do make shorties, but they're just not as common as a full-size desktop card. Now, all that aside, the big thing I didn't love about the NUC 9 when I first saw it was the aesthetic. It's so plain to me. The Intel performance NUCs are usually really cool looking, but this one, it looks like a generic black box, which some people might like, but it's just not for me. Now, I remember when Intel did this announcement, they said that there were other partner companies that were also making these mini systems, and Razer was one of them. And this Razer Tomahawk was their iteration of it, and this one can take full-size desktop GPUs, as well as looking so much cooler than this thing. So I reached out to Razer. I was like, yo, I know you guys have this. I saw pictures and videos of it. Can you lend it to me so I want to do the exchange, right? Because these are modular systems. You can take the internals of this thing, like the Intel NUC, and put it into this thing. So that's what we're doing today. Now, the way these things work, because they're modular systems, inside this machine, there's two main components. There's the GPU, which is the desktop video card I was talking about, which in this case is the Asus Shorty. And then there's the heart of the whole system, which is Intel calls it the compute element. And inside this module, it's got the motherboard, the CPU, the RAM, and the storage. It's all inside this package. The RAM and the storage are user replaceable, but the CPU is not. That's baked on. So the idea is that you can purchase one, load it up with the RAM and storage that you'd like, and then in a few years' time when Intel comes out with an upgrade, let's say in like 2 years' time, there's a 12th gen available, and it's still running on 14 nanometers, you can buy that 12th gen module and transfer your 10th gen stuff or whatever is your older stuff, transfer it into the new one, and now you have a fully upgraded compute element. And that's the idea behind this whole system, right? It allows a certain degree of modularity. Now, I think the plan is for Razer to sell the Tomahawk as a completed gaming system, right? Fully loaded, ready to go, so you don't have to do any building like this. But because I'm transferring stuff from the Intel NUC into this, I have to build it. So there's like a tray or a sled that holds the components, and this time we're using a full-length RTX 2080 because this case can hold full-length desktop GPUs. And then on the other side, we slot in the compute element. So in these systems, there's actually a third NVMe on the base PCB, but if you populate that thing, you're going to use up PCIe lanes, which ends up reducing lanes on your graphics card. So I think most people just use the 2 NVMe slots inside the compute element. But once you have this thing connected all up, you take this thing and you slide it into the glass box. Now, there's two things to note. First is that because this is a super early prototype sample thing, the exact configuration and orientation of everything here is not finalized, right? This is all subject to change as they kind of figure stuff out. The second thing is that the fans on the top of the system, they're not powered. Like there's no cable that connects it to the motherboard. So those fans are not functional in this particular unit, but it is a functional system otherwise. Now, performance, I mean, that's the thing, right? Like how good does this thing do? It's good. Like that Intel compute element delivers. Now with games, it's all about your video card, and when you can stick a desktop GPU into these systems, they just push out crazy performance. That 8-core chip can deliver very solid multi-core performance, and if I bump the PL1 wattage, it goes even harder. And thermally, that compute element is weirdly good. It's running a vapor chamber, and because they're not super concerned about like the vertical height of that module, it's noticeably quieter than an equivalently equipped laptop. I think these fans just have an easier time cooling this particular system down. So I built this crazy RGB setup with some of the Razer stuff I have, and this would probably be like a dream setup for a Razer fan. You got the Tomahawk, you got the Huntsman TE, their optical keyboard, you got the new Viper Ultimate, a fantastic mouse. I think it's the best wireless mouse in the market right now. You got the Razer wireless charger. I would put a Razer Phone 2 on there, but that thing's a little dated. And you also have the Razer Raptor, their 27-inch gaming monitor with that waterfall of Razer green cables coming out the back. This setup is fully Razer with RGBs everywhere. Now, in terms of pricing, I have no idea how much the Tomahawk is going to cost. I feel like it can't be cheap, right? The base NUCs are already really expensive. These can only be more expensive. I don't even know if Razer knows how much this is going to cost at this point, but it is something that they plan on bringing out. This isn't like some vaporware project. This is legitimately a product that they plan on releasing. And yeah, it's going to be pretty cool when it does come out. I'm glad that Razer let me bring this into the studio to show you guys because it's pretty unique. All right, hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thumbs if you liked it, subs if you loved it. See you guys next time.